And joining us right now on Skype, and all the way from, I see Sally's wearing a Miami Heat shirt. World champions this year in the NBA, right, Sally?
Well, they finally got it right after a few years. Very exciting, because that's where I lived for many years. So I do support them, and that's why I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah, that's LeBron James, huh?
He's amazing, but it was a great team effort by all of them, and they finally came together as a team.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those guys play for only themselves, and they're so highly paid athletes, they think they're the whole team.
Yeah.
but finally they've got a wonderful rapport amongst them all, and they played as a team, and it was an amazing series.
Absolutely. Have you been watching some of the Olympic basketball? Because I was watching the so-called, there's a big debate as to whether this team, they still call them the Dream Team. Yeah, 2012. There's nowhere near, they come anywhere near touching the original Dream Team of Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and those guys. And they seem to have been cruising a little bit. I mean, I was watching the game they were playing against, I think it was Tunisia, where eventually, I'm not even going to try the coach's name, but he's like the top collegiate coach in the States who's coaching the side. He yanked all the big names off in the first quarter. In the first period, rather, because they just weren't performing. In fact, Tunisia were leading at one stage. They also had a slow start against France. Do you think they've arrived there cruising a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you've got a group like that are the most highly paid athletes in the world, and they come together, they only see each other, you know, when they compete, and now they're a team. You know, it's I think they got a bit of a scrook. And you know, there's some amazing basketball players around the world now, and it's not going to be as easy as the last time. I mean, that Dream Team was so powerful, and they had this karma around them that were the greatest players in the world, and everyone was scared. But things change. You know, it's just like Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
You know, he had such an aura, but you know, now these players he raised the bar in golf, and around the world these basketball players also feel that they have an opportunity. I mean, it's a game that's played all over and highly sought after for many countries. Can't believe how much they pay for these players in China. So it's not just all about America anymore with basketball, and I love it because there's talent all around the world.
Absolutely. To start talking about world champions actually has been in a global game. I still cannot help but smile when I think back to that original Dream Team going to the Olympics, and every team they played, before the game started, all the opposition players were posing for photographs with Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. I mean, you know, it's like, this is just like, really, you know, why don't you just give them the medals and let them have a day where they can have photographs taken with the rest of the athletes, because that's what happened.
And that's what Tiger was like, you know, when they walked on the tee with him, you know, 4 years ago. It was like they were playing for second, and it's not like that anymore. So it's incredible, the height of sports right now, and to see South Africa win a few goals right away, that's amazing. I'm very proud that we are featured, and with such a small country. You know?
Let's get right in there, Sally, because there might be some kind of a misconception about Sally Little and her loyalty to South Africa. You just said it there, very proud about South Africa's performance in the Olympics and picking up those gold medals. You are still truly a proudly South African sports legend.
Well, I am, you know, and I must say, in my years, there was nowhere else to go to play, and America embraced me. I played at a time when we couldn't play as South Africans around the world with that passport, the South African passport. It was very, very tough in the 70s and way into the 70s, and then into the 80s it was difficult. But, you know, I found my way, but I was known as the South African. Everywhere I played, I was proud to have had that as my birthright, and still feel that way. I mean, I think it's in us, all South Africans, wherever they go. you know, we're living all over the world now, but we get together, and we South Africans, you can't take that out of us. So yeah, and I'm back to make a difference in this country.
Awesome.
And we actually, I'm very proud to say that the Parliament has now put forth an agenda with me. They're partnering now for my vision going forward, and that's development golf, to find some wonderful, great players going forward. And that's always been my frustration, you know, been in America for 30 years, and there was never another one of me, and it's wrong. And people say to me, why not? And I often say that none of our young women had a woman to look up to. I had Gary Player to look up to when I was a little girl. And now, you know, you look at the legacy of golf. Every 10 years, there's a new superstar. So all you young boys have from Gary. Then Ernie had Gary. Yeah. And then Shaw and Louis had Ernie. So there's always been another superstar in the wings, and we need to find that with women's golf. And I'm very pleased to say that I sit on the advisory board now for the WPGA, and they have turned it around. We haven't had any professional golf in this country for women for the last 3 years, and they had their first South African Open, which has now been endorsed by the European Tour for the first time. And it was held in KwaZulu-Natal in July. And they had a super field. In fact, a German one by the name of Masson, a really super player. And what is happening is now there's such a great interest because the government of KwaZulu-Natal, the Hibiscus Coast, endorsed women's golf. And now they want to carry on and grow it. And from that, we're going to have another professional tournament. Next year, there will be at least 2 months for women. And so we're going to grow the game and bring the internationals in, so our young girls can see, wow, I want to be like them. So it's a growing process, but for me, that's where my passion is. So I can give something back.
Well, players, and I mean, obviously we have some leading young female golfers, women's golfers in the country. I mean, obviously Ashley Simon, you know, she from a young teenager, people were talking up Ashley and her prospects. And
Leanne Pace.
Leanne Pace has obviously stepped up to the plate now as well. Will this all take players like that? And obviously they're not going to be sort of left behind and you're going to start again from scratch. They will very much be part of this whole process as well, because they're both such talented golfers that, you know, either one of them, or there could be a few others, could be our next Sally Littles.
Well, that's what we hope for. We want those youngsters to be able to see a Leanne Pace play in her home country, see a Ashley Simon shine. You know, this event they just had, which was proud to see that in the top 12, there were 6 South Africans that finished in the top 12 out of the European Tour and our players here. So there is amazing talent. They just need to be encouraged and also have competition. And with the events that are going to happen here, we hope to grow a tour where we have at least 3 big events and then some smaller access events where our amateurs can play along. We had I think 15 top amateurs play in this pro event. So can you imagine what that's going to do for them going forward, and for our young black girls that need to get ready to play? We need this. We need to change the whole perspective of what golf's about in this country, and we're going to do it.
And I mean, we've got the facilities. We said time and time again, one of the reasons why we produce so many good golfers is probably because they get brought up spoiled by the number of courses we have, the great golf courses that we have, the great facilities, and of course the weather plays along as well. So, you know, that aspect is there. We've got the place and the facilities to be able to do it. And then, as we say, we have our legends. And I mean, even Ernie's foundation, you know, there were a couple of young young female, young girl golfers that were going through there. I remember a few years ago, who were really showing a lot of talent. So hopefully these haven't been lost, and that there's still more coming through things like the Ernie's Foundation and organizations like that.
Well, I'm excited because finally, the government now, Parliament has just embraced the program going forward, and that's huge. And for them to get behind it, for me, I'm so excited because now we can do something, we can make a difference with them, with their support. And then comes the vision, and to have a Leanne Pace and have all of our superstars, this little Connie Chang, who's 19 years old, she's so talented. She can be a role model for all of our young kids going forward, and that's the vision.
Yeah.
And if I can help, and which I want to do, I want to make a difference here. So, so for anyone that questions I don't have South Africa in my heart, they must just go away.
There we go. Now you've heard it. Sally Little, very much. Where are you, by the way, with all that sunshine flooding into your window there?
Well, one warm day in Cape Town.
Oh, is it? Okay, there we go.
In Cape Town. I was born here, so and it's freezing though. It's cold, so not like Johannesburg, the best weather in the world. But this is where I'm from, and the nice thing is across where I live, Metropolitan is the old golf course, and that's now new. And we're planning on doing a lot of these clinics now going forward. They've embraced the idea, so cool. It's huge. I'm so grateful that we have an opportunity and that I can be a part of it.
Great. Simon?
Are you still playing much golf at the Met, Sally?
Yeah, Simon, we miss you in that skirt.
Yeah, I miss that place.
Sorry? Tell us more. Tell us
Simon
more.
To take me on, and he thought he needed to wear a skirt. He had pretty nice legs.
Yeah, thanks, Sally. Yours aren't too bad either.
Sally, it was lovely to see you at the Gary Play Invitational. Thanks very much for all the inspiration you gave me.
Well, I'm hoping. It looks like they're going to have the GPI again, which is marvelous what Gary's done, and I love his vision for development. And hopefully we'll see you there again. And
thanks,
watch out for these girls that are coming now, boys. You must watch out.
And we'll stay in touch with you as well, just to see how things are developing, Sally. And please let us know as well, because when we do focus a lot on golf on the show, and it's nice to see that women's golf is getting some recognition again. So we will definitely stay in touch with you, Simon.
But we have to ask you, Sally, what you think of Ernie's Open win.
You know what? For me, I understand. We went through. I was in the States for 5 weeks watching him trying to qualify for, for the Masters, and it was just heartbreaking. And when you put that much pressure, no one understands what it's like. To have such talent and have won so much and not be qualified for an event, it hurts you. And he tried, and he did really well, and couldn't come through. And I just love that golf is like this. You never know. And it's going to change his life for the rest of his career, rightly so. He's such a role model, and they love him everywhere, and he's so good for the game. And I'm sorry for Adam Scott. It was horrible to see that. But Ernie, you deserve it, mate. You've given a lot, and now you can go and play gracefully and enjoy yourself, because you qualified for basically for as long as you want to play.
Yeah,
and it's right. It's the way it should be.
They won't not invite him to the Masters, I think, next year.
Oh, he's totally qualified.
Yeah,
how's
there
that?
we go.
No chance.
The Masters without Ernie is just like bizarre at this stage. Yes, Simon?
Oh, are we letting Sally go?
In a moment.
Okay, well, we had Greer Stevens in here the other day, Sally, and she said she's never met you, but when you come up to Johannesburg, she's playing good golf, and she said she'd love to have a game of golf with you.
Well, I'd love to. I mean, I've always followed her career. She's a great, great ambassador. I've watched her on television, and please tell her, I'd like to see all those tennis players and all these athletes play golf so well.
And you
so
come
she'll
up
probably with me.
Yeah, well, you come up here and I'll give you a rematch, okay?
Okay, I want to play with both of you. How's that?
Yeah, anytime, Sally.
I'll caddy for you, Sal.
No, John, stay away from a golf course. You're a liability. Okay. Yeah, no, we look forward to that. And Simon will get his skirt out and he can play in that again.
He's very cute. I can tell you he gets away with it.
Well, he must be in a skirt because he isn't in long pants. But
that's rich.
That's rich.
And I'm very interested in this name. It's quite an interesting radio station.
Ballz.
Ballz, eh?
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what it's about, having balls and going out and doing it, and offering a sports product to South Africa as well.
You can hear us on 91.3 down there, Sally.
Yeah, we're on FM in the Western
I
Cape.
will look it up. In
There we
fact, 91, it'll go on my radio. How's
There we
that?
go. 91.3 in the Western Cape. And
Look for you.
fantastic. It's actually been fantastic because Greer popped in to visit us this week. We spoke to her on Skype a couple of weeks before, chatting to you now as well. And I mean, these are great memories. I remember the days we used to have to open the newspaper to find out how our traveling sports personalities were doing. And I always remember when you get to the golf section, you'd look for the bold print, which would have Gary's name. And then you go to the LPGA event they were playing at the time, and they'd look for the bold print. And they always had Sally Little in bold print to say she was South African. So there we go.
So I am. So there it is. Sorry for everybody who thinks I'm not.
Sally, it's great to catch up with you. Thanks for chatting to us, and we look forward to chatting to you again sometime.
All right. All the
Awesome.
best. Talk
Cheers.
to you
Bye-bye.
soon. Time
Bye, Sally.
stranger.
I
Call.
won't be. You too.
Bye, Sally.
Ciao, Sal.
There we go. Sally Little joining us on Skype from Cape Town on Ballz Visual Radio. Really nice to chat to her. As
She's
I
a
say,
lovely lady.
She was one of those people I always used to look out for how she was doing overseas when I was a lightie.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on balls.co.za. Balls.co.za.